Well, well, well. Hello again, and thank you for coming to the show. Madness is all around us, and you know what? Tonight I'm going to show you a little bit of mine. I know we've normally come here on Sundays, paint and do other things. Well, here's something new. I'm starting to world build, right? I'm making something and I'm going to show you guys a little bit. Hello, Demetria. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So, yes, I wanted to start the world build. I'm going to start showing you guys some of the stuff of the Madhouse. I'm going to start creating that whole aesthetic. And tonight, I want to show you what I've worked on with myself, but I'm going to kind of give you a kind of a blueprint of the layout, right, of the whole facility. So you kind of get a general idea. And I'll show you what some of the patients look like, right? There's many different types. I know I did a little bitty draft before, but tonight's going to be a little different. Um, so yes, you're going to get to see what the yes is all about and kind of describe that a little bit. So, well, let's jump on over to the table and get started. All right, get some light on over here. Ah, see, one more time. There we go. All right. Who's this striking person here, right? Of course, I got some new pencils, whole new pencil set. They're working pretty nice. Um, we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but I want to zoom in here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So, getting some caricature work done. I think that's clear enough. This thing is acting very silly. Um, but yeah, I got some caricature work. So yeah, that's the madman there, Mel. And yes, he carries an axe. He has an axe. A lot of you don't know that. Haven't talked much about it, but that's an item that he carries. Kind of a story item, we'll say, per se, right? So started drawing here, got some facial expressions, usually wearing the coat. Without the coat is probably basically just upper body, which I'll sketch that real quick so we can see what's going on here. So yeah. So upper body for Mad Mill, if he doesn't have the jacket on, consists of this. It's literally just his head, right? I'm just going to just do a normal head here, neck, right? And then we're going to do a little silhouette face here, a little bit of jawline there. Kind of what like a mannequin dummy would have. Little situation there, little situation there. So, it's always wearing the button up. So the button up shirt, of course, right about here. And then he's also got the vest. That's this part here, right? And bring that down. And got the whole tie, right? So it looked like this, basically. You would see him with, but the only thing that would be different is that his sleeves are always rolled up, right? Another thing, too, you don't see also is in his cuff, he ain't messing around. This is also what's inside of his shirt, inside of his coat, right? How does he have a pistol rolled up in it? Don't worry about that. Listen, you see where he's at. So he's got this inside his coat, right? And that's in his sleeve. That's actually in his sleeve. Nobody normally sees it, but that's something that is in there because he normally has to go downstairs. And yet again, the whole premise is going downstairs dealing with something bizarre, right? So we got him here, sleeve there. And it'll look something like this, you got your vest, however that you prefer, and then it would come over like so, over, down, and then you see it inside the coat and it flares out, right? Like so. That's basically it there. course, pants, pockets. You know. And then the gloves, right? So that's pretty much the basis of the outfit right here. Is pretty much this right here. He's got the glove on. Of course, he's got the little piece here, you know. Nothing over here. Jacket, right? And like that. So that's basically what it looks like. What we got here? What is this? So, oh, what is that? Are you sleepy? My nose is stopped up and I'm a little bit tired. Yes, that is exactly what's going on with me. But also, my music isn't turned on, which I meant to have that turned on too. Yeah, I'm stopped up. It's really bad here. Weather is bad. Supposed to be rain, whole bunch of stuff. Right? There we are. And I got some other music besides this because it always pops up. But yes, that's basically what the outfit looks like. I'll straighten that up a little bit, and then we'll get to the levels of the asylum. Something like that, right? There. It's basically his outfit without the jacket, right? So now we're gonna go to the next part. I'll probably come back to this. Actually, I'll tell you what. Probably should just go on and ink it, right? Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably come back and ink that. So, the levels of the asylum. Yes, I'm drawing tonight. I am going to be drawing, and I'm going to also, as I'm drawing, going to do the ink work of the whole building. I wanted to show what this looks like because we're about to do something different, and I kind of want everybody to be aware of what this is going to look like and the environment that this whole story is going to take place in. That I'm going to do. I'm just going to use a little bit smaller of a bottle because I realize I've been wasting a lot more ink, and you know, as mad as I am, the world is madder than me. So I'm going to add a little bit of ink to these real quick, and then we're going to be on our way. You get to see what levels, where I'm at, where my office is at, where the library is at. You get to see where all that is at. I kind of give a little bit of a tour. There we go. All right. So if you've seen from the beginning of the show, the whole front of the courtyard is kind of a decent sized mansion size house. I think there's about 14 rooms, a few bathrooms, you know, um, a bar, entertainment room, all of these things. We always have a lot of fun, but you know, people get a little crazy from time to time. There we go. All right, let's get started, shall we? Oh, wait a second. Where did my... Ah, here we go. So you have the top floor, which is ground level, which is up here, right? Main entrance. With the whole sign and all that. You know, whole building. Yeah, I'm going to do this all freehand too, because I just want to try something, still see if I got it right. So once you come in, you have this whole area first. You come up here, and all of this is where most people get the whole interview, and then we do your whole assessment, right? You go to this little facility here, and then we do your whole assessment, see what's going on and how we can help you and what might be your problem. Just a normal doctor visit. And then from here, there's an offshoot. It goes down. And this offshoot of the road takes you to this other place. And from here, this is where we are. And this is where we're broadcasting from, right? So you have the gate, which leads around, and then the house is here. It's very weird in here too. We're going to say it's right about there. There we are. We have another peak right about here. Let me just pull that right over here like so. Alright. Then of course we got our lights. Right. So we got the lights. Then we got the house. It's about here. Everybody gets all bugged out by this silly house because it's so freaking huge. You know, once you see the door open, it just looks like, oh man, this is like any old normal place, right? Very deceptive from the outside. And of course, the door isn't that big, right? Ah, he starts to show it's an Iroquois to draw on the best canvas of all. My brain, yep. He started jabbing the pen. Yep, exactly. De Beers commercial, diamonds are forever. Insanity is forever. Why give a gift that doesn't give back? Be crazy. Show the gift that really shows that you care by foaming at the mouth at a family event. Give them the insanity that they truly deserve. Show your loved ones that you really care by just losing your shit right there at the dinner table. Embrace the madness. Show them what you're really about. Is that what you wanted? You're welcome. Bow and insane. Oh, yeah. But now this isn't actually what, this was the idea that I wanted, but oh no, a taboo. What are you about to do? I'm about to do this. This is actually what I'm about to do. If you want to see this, I want to do the whole diagram in a different way. I'm just going to turn it over, right? Because how I wanted to do it really doesn't explain it the way I would like to explain it, right? And that's okay, as long as you don't destroy your piece of paper. You can always use the back. Except I messed mine up when I pulled this out. For whatever reason, I tore it, but I don't care. Do I care? No. It works. Whatever. Yep, there's a little piece right there. That's fine. Not really going to be using that side anyways. So, I'm going to use a little bit darker of a pencil. We're going to go to the 07. I like to do all my light work with that, but you guys get to see a nice little picture here. So the madhouse is right here, right? It's kind of a very large house, as you can see. Think of it as like a TARDIS almost, like a pocket dimension. It's bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside, right? You got the house about here. And it's going to do something like this. Right. The house here. Oh, that looks like an amateur drew that. Well, I'm giving a map. So that way, whenever I tell you, oh, this is where we're at, because you guys are going to get the same look at this anytime I do anything. Might even show it at the beginning of the show. You might not even know what I might do. But anyways, this is the general idea. It's pretty large. There's a rounding courtyard out here, and each one of these has got another little house adjacent kind of situation. because we don't want everybody to feel like they're claustrophobic, so we kind of try to build things in a different way. You know, give more open access to some of the patients. We have other things going on here besides just all the zapping. You know, we have entertainment. Like I said, we have entertainment centers. We have things that we do. You know, arts and crafts besides just the normal treatment. All right. You know, something here. This is a theater room right there, right? And then it comes out. See? And then after all of that, right? You always see me take the elevator down. Right? Foaming at the mouth. Yes, always the foaming at the mouth. Right? You got this layer here. Yeah, I use rulers. I don't care. I found mine. Actually, the Duchess found it, which is great. So underneath the base layer that we have, oh my goodness, just like an amateur drawing. Shut up. You suck. These are tools. Tools are used, right? House is here. All the normal stuff, right? So we take the elevator down. And I want to make two because it's very thick. Like we go very deep underground, right? So yeah, it's about almost a mile and a half straight down, right? So we take the chamber down. I hit about here when we start the show. And then we're down here. We're down to the next level. And then there's going to be, what in the world? Get off of there. Dried up paint getting in the way. There we go. You can still see, I think. Let me pull it down some. There we are. Yeah, there we are. So now you see where the elevator is at. So elevator ends right here. This is the elevator shaft. Right here. Once the elevator lands, it lands on the top base level, which is where I walk through. This is where we have the intake assessment. Once you get done, you know, basically you find out what's going on. You come, you get assessed in the, and we do our assessment test on you to see where you would fit in the institute. Then we bring you down here, and this is the floor where first floor of the underground is where you get your, you know, you get assigned to your room, to your basically your treatment hall, what kind of treatment you're going to get, what we're going to do, you know, all that fun stuff, right? So that's where this is at. This floor here, you know, usually I come down here. This floor is full of different people, you know, and we'll start here with the drawing, right? So you guys get an idea. So you got the main door right here, and you got that hallway that you normally see me walk up to, where there's a man sitting right here in that desk, and then you got the big wall, which is the gate. Gate is where I'm at when you see me walking in, and then from here this is all basically blocked off. That's a wall, that's a wall, and then there's a little hallway. This is all built in, and then got the doorway here. Got that doorway there. And once you're in here, this is all the different rooms. There we go. So that's a hallway there. Oh, makes it hard to stay awake. I could understand that. I can understand that. So once we come down and we hit here, these are all the other rooms here. So the first group of people, you know, this is where we do the intake. You go into these rooms, they assess. Over here is where you end up getting all your fitted for your hug coat, right? This is where the magic happens. This is where they fit you for your coat and your comfy pants, right? And that right there is where you get situated. The man that you saw that got clubbed in the skull at the beginning of the show, usually the one that's twitching around where the man is at, that man, well, he didn't like his hug coat. And he was trying to complain and trying to get out of it, and then you know, he had to get right. So yeah, but we always make them to absolute perfection. You know, we make them to order. Not yet, but one day. There we go. You know, we got our whole roundabout there. Go, so that's where that's at. This room there. And then there's the mirror, so once they get done checking you and getting you sized, they'll alter it inside this room. That's that floor, intake room and fitting. And then after that, the next floor which sadly is probably almost the largest floor. Almost the largest floor. It's getting increasingly bad, right? this floor here is a little bit on the rougher side. This is for the next floor down here, or more of the how do one get a HUD code? Oh well, once we classify you and we know what your issue is, if you're like, I don't know, inspirationally stunted, or like this floor here is where you have creative hindrance. Like we have to, and it's most common, like, oh, I want to do something but I don't know how to, and we have to do an extreme deep rewiring with electricity, and it requires a lot. Nice kit, thank you, thank you. Very small kit, small. I only have 05, 7, and 9 for the pencils. I have just lead, couple of erasers, very basic model. I've had all the rest of them. I have actually destroyed my old set. I killed 2 pencils. I jammed 1 HB2, and yeah, I'm down to, I had to get a new set. Plus, I ended up getting some of these, so I have a better control over my ink. Today, we are doing the Yes Institute. I am drawing the Yes. I'm going to back out some, so that way everybody can see it a little bit better, hopefully. Yeah, that makes it easier for me. You know? And I figured, why not? Since this is what we're about to do, we're going to be working on this because this is what I want to work on. I've been putting this off for so long, and I'm tired of putting it off. So I decided, why not? Shit. It's going to be an awesome story. And it's going to be great. This is where the hugs are at. There we go. Level 3 is the worst. It's the what I call the excessive goon floor. That's where people who have lost their artistic ability and artistic skill to drawing hentai and other types of lewd art. They fried themselves to all they think of as the thickness, which is the next floor down, which is basically more descent into madness and hell, right? This place keeps getting worse the further you go down. This floor here, you know, it's a little rough and down here, but it's not as bad as level 3. Doors start changing depending on the intensity of the floor. We put them in these spherical spaces. It's almost like they have smooth spheres that they're in, and it's like a cylinder. I know that this music may be putting people to sleep. I don't know. Whatever. It eases my brain. I thought about making something with this. How do you personally How do a person... Oh, how did a person get your facility? How do you get sent to my facility? Well, that's that, right? Is that what you were asking? How do you get sent to the Yes Institute for the Artistically Insane? Is that what you are trying to find out? Put a yes or no in there if you don't mind telling me. And I can tell you if that's exactly the truth. If you want to know how you get here, that is. Who else wants to know? Do you want to really find out? Well, it's very simple. You don't have to do very much. Just have ambition to want to do art, but just have the ability to just not want to have to deal with the other stuff, right? Like, oh, I don't know, conventional means. You just keep drawing the same thing over and over and you just can't figure it out. Well, you come to us and, well, we can show you exactly what to do. Because with a little bit of electricity, everybody becomes a genius. Everybody becomes a Picasso with the right amount of current. Or at least that's what the Mad Doctor likes to tell people. But what do I know? I'm just an artist. Or something like that. At least that's what they tell me. But yeah, usually I find you're struggling with art. I can't find it. I want to figure out, how do I draw this hand? How do I draw this arm? How do I draw this leg? And I wanted to do this. I was an artist at this place and I just lost my muse and I just want to get back to it, but I just feel like I can't. Well, that's when we find you, really. That's how this really works. I want to get better. I want to be a better artist. I want to be a better person that can do this craft, but they tell me that I don't have the ability to. I draw a little too wild, or all that looks a little too animated, or my work looks a little too dark. That's when we find you. That's when we find what you need. We show you that madness is the only way to create art. I mean, there's other ways. I mean, yeah, you can draw orange or a grape or a box or a portrait, right? And that's cool. But the ability to show the real world behind the veil, to show things how they are, to change the perspective of what people see, or to be able to show somebody something and it makes them feel a little uneasy. I don't know why. I can't stop looking at this picture. I can't stop. That's what you're looking for, and we tap into that. We find what makes you tick, and then we push hard. And then we pull it out of you. I can't draw a circle. Well, we're going to put you in a circle room. And then you'll figure it out. Like this one. I just don't know how to draw a circle. Well, everything in this room is circles. Everything around you, all the doors, everything. I was nothing until I found the Yes. I couldn't draw a single stick figure until I went to the Yes Institute. For every person that has ever came, that's usually the story that we hear. And we never hear it immediately. Oh no, why? Why the electricity? Why that? Why not? If you don't ever pull the potential out, you won't ever have it. And the first thing to do is break your fear. But what about that circle? What about that square? I can't draw that. I can't do what? I can't survive electricity, right? But when we give it to you, you realize, how did I survive that? Well, you did. Just like, how did I draw that hand? You did. Because you wanted to. You survived because you wanted to. And that's what we promote. We just push it to the limit, right? We bring out the best in you so you can create the best. Why haven't we heard of any of the people? Most of them usually break by the time that they get out. The stress for perfection is very hard. That's basically what's going on here. That's the intake floor. This is the loss, the muse floor. This is where inspiration has gone. And through everybody's hardship in these tubular places, oh, you want to have a private room. Well, the only way that you get a private room is if you're from floor 3 and down and everything gets rough from basically the next floor that we're going to down. Most of the experimental floors, you can get a room. I just wouldn't recommend it because that's where I don't have any real jurisdiction over that. The doctor has more control there. I can postpone, but if he wants to do any type of weird experiments or turn you into something that either may or may not be used as a bioweapon, I don't have any control over that. That's all him. This floor you're very familiar with. This floor is long, has multiple intersecting chambers, right? Once we get down to this floor, it's usually kind of a done deal. Like, I already know what's going to happen down on this next floor when I get down there. Don't really expect much. You know, I can get through here fast, though. Usually I can get, this is one of the faster rooms. But the elevator system is through each individual place. So, have to go down the elevator, go across the entire room from here all the way across to the back, take the next one, it goes from back to all the way to the front. It makes it very difficult for you to try to get out of here. And there's other fail-safes too, like, I don't know, electrified floors and chainsaw dogs and a whole bunch of craziness, right? So, you know, you're gonna have a hard time trying to get out of this place, so good luck. All right, we want to make sure that your treatment gets all the way through. You don't want half commitment. We want 100% commitment all the way, right? Now these are ran by the TR, well, not those, but the TB Model 1s, but we're changing those to the Mach 2s, which are very, very well constructed. But anyways, the bots are to control these rooms. These chambers have reinforced glass. They also have the ability to well, more or less be able to put the subject to sleep if things get a little too out of hand for them. There we go. This war is kind of sad. You can see how many people that were such great artists that just fell into the whole downward spiral of over sexualized hentai characters, and they just fall to pieces. We have the bots there to try to help. The bots give them sensory overload um, therapy. It's kind of a way of like, oh, we show them these, one stocking higher than the other uh, thick robots. They got the whole overly overly emphasized sex doll bodies. We got them at wholesale. Our robotics person, T Robotics, man, they're such a great place to get. They still have other contracts, but we got ground level with them early on. They have been a very large supplier for most of our security and therapy bots. There we are. Yeah, chainsaw dogs. Yeah, we replaced their whole damn head with a chainsaw. Yeah, like they use these sonar pulsing things on their necks, and we keep them hyped up on amphetamine drip, and yeah, straight into their spine. These damn things are rabid as hell. You don't want to mess with those. As soon as we let those things loose, you're gonna die. Like, we lose a lot of security to those damn things. The chainsaw dogs are hell, man. I've had to shoot a couple. I didn't like it. I took no pleasure in it. But I mean, they had no head, so like, how the hell were they supposed to know what was going on? So I just had to put them down, smoke them. The doctor was upset. I think that was the first time I ever had to really like get forceful with the doctor. He didn't like me having to injure his dogs. I guess it's like, no, they're dogs. They have chainsaw heads. Like, I'm not the villain here. He's the one that replaced their whole skull. Right? Whatever. This is the same stuff I have to always argue with these boards, because they'll come down and then they ask, like, okay, we were trying to get funding once, right, for experiments. And I told the doctor that we needed to make a proposal, and the proposal needed to be rock solid. This idiot decided, oh, I'm going to just make a very good example out of this one subject and fry him with some electricity, and then I'm going to go on ahead and lobotomize him and do a whole bunch of other wild, unnecessary things. Lo and behold, subject wasn't even the actual subject we were supposed to have had. Subject turned out to be, the person that was supposed to be like actually giving us the money was standing there. And then he disappeared. I didn't know he was gone. Had absolutely no idea he was gone. I'm looking around for him. The doctor already had him down there prepped for surgery and doing weird shit to him. Doctor's very fast. If you ever come here and get stuck here, stuck in a light turn, you ever become a patient here, it takes you past this floor here, you're going to be gone. I can't do anything to save you. That's the end of it. I call this the hentai artist floor. It's it's rough. That's extreme. Yeah, yeah. That is. It is extreme. You know, everything in this damn place is extreme. This next floor is treatment floor number 1. The rest of these are all the treatment levels. He's got all the treatments that he likes to call on level 4, and then after that is just basically no access. He's got all the rest of the access after 4. 5, I think, is man, what is 5? There we are. This is all the weird ass rooms down here. I need a piece of gum. Why do I never find any candy when I need it? Never when I want it, but whenever I don't, it's always there. In front of me. Why? Maybe these will work. I'll do. I don't try to. No. Um. So, let me make sure he's not listening. Oh, good. He's doing something else. What is he doing? Let me check the camera. Hold on. Nope. He's over here playing some silly game. I don't know what he's doing. Anyways, so I don't. I don't. Usually I put people in a psychosis stun. I use that eye gaze thing that you see me do at the end of the show. I do that weird ability and usually put people in a loopy state. He has. He does. He calls it resetting a patient. If he ever says it's time to reset this patient, that means he's going to kill them and then reanimate them. So yes, that's what the doctor will do. He will do that from time to time. And usually whenever he does that, I have to go and end up having to do something with that because it always turns into a bad situation. always turns into a bad situation. There's never a moment that it's not, you know. So, what can you do with that? So, this is it so far. And then after that, well, I got my area, of course. Oh, yeah. Which there's no barrier between, well, it's a very small barrier. And then, yes, I see Asmodeus art book is still here, and then we have my area, room 44. All right, so that's about all the places. Is that legal? I'm not sure, right? That's where you store the ether. No, well, the ether and all of that is in the treatment floor. I don't really mess with the ether. That other person, he has the ether, but that's a whole different thing in this room with the whole tether situation. But that's dabbling with world bending events. So now, since we have this, we kind of have a diagram of where we're going. This is all dealing with the madhouse and other things like that. So let's go on ahead. Why not add some different stuff? Or yeah, why not? I'm gonna add a little bit of some outline on it. Just wanna see how well this is gonna work out. Not gonna go too crazy with it. There we go. There we go. Sometimes we have people trying to escape, and it's really sad. It never works out. Probably the saddest escape was those guys trying to get through by going down. They ended up finding a way. Actually, it was partially my fault. Like, I thought I could move. Found this chair at a thrift store, and I was like, oh man, I can bring it into the office. And I had it wedged, and we were doing those maintenance on the bots. These gentlemen got out, went for a fast run. They jumped on the elevator. They went down. And they thought that they were going to survive. They thought they were really going to get out. And then they ran into some type of fail-safe that the Dr. Mad had down there. And man, I don't know. Sometimes this place is just like, why? Why is this place like this? Dr. Mad is evil, man. I think we can beat him. Well, what would you do if you beat him? Well, I probably would use that thing that he has, that ability at amplifier. Takes whatever skill you already have and amplifies it. It's like it gives you a plus 10 to your stat, to your permanent stat, right? That's probably what I would do. He's using it to limit. He's using it as a limiter, like actually to limit people, like stunt them. So, I feel like I can possibly stop him. Maybe we'll see. He keeps telling me I don't fully understand yet, but one day I will. One day I'll understand how he says it. One day I'll understand that smoothing isn't enough. That no matter how smooth you try to get them, it will just remain the same. This is the only way. I don't believe that. I think if you get smooth is the only way to really get yourself right. But that's for a different conversation. Different topic. Different thing. Great Tusken Raider music. I mean, he is. Like what else can I say? I've seen him that like very first when I did my internship here after he let me loose. It was such a weird facade. He was like, oh, well, I'm going to give you an internship here since you are such a good student. I'm like, I'm not even a student. You're terrified of me. Like, I made you pull your own eyeballs out of your skull and you had to use prosthetics. You have to use electronic eyes because I did that to you. And then you want to keep me close because you're trying to wait for me to mess up so you can, quote, find your weakness. He says this all the time. I don't know why he thinks that I don't understand. If you ask me, it's quite insulting. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's kind of belittling in a way. Ow, that hurt. I didn't mean to run into that hard. Let's see. How much time do we have? Oh, it just hit 9 o'clock. Well, I guess we should go on ahead and make a character soon. Everybody is a muse off of everyone. All the rooms are open. Everybody can see everybody. You have become my new inspiration. How can I? I can tell you the most fulfilling thing is someone saying that you inspired me. I don't know how to handle that very well. Usually I combust into flames. It's nice to hear that from someone from time to time. You inspired me to do this, or I was inspired by you. You know, it's kind of a neat thing to hear from time to time, I suppose. Like I said. Probably should take this down, but I don't care. So that's how that room works. So it's a hallway, right? Each one of these hallways, I don't know. I can't, like I said, pocket dimension, I don't even know. When I'm walking and I need to get somewhere, it condenses, but for everybody else, it elongates. I don't understand how this damn place works, really. That's why I just call it madness. Because it is. It's technically just insanity in here. I would beg to think it may be a pocket dimension. I'm not sure. Maybe? Who knows? There we are. There we go. Ah, thank you. We may have lost some people, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. It's okay. I thank you all for being here who has all stayed. I know the live stream sometimes is up and down. It's also where that damn digitizer was made, too. That creature. Apparently, some of that technology was used all from data. I found this. This was weird. Some of the data that was taken from me was used in the digitizer program, and I'm very disturbed by that. I found that information out a couple days ago. Didn't think that that was going to be something that the doctor was going to do. I remember he said he was working on something, but I don't even know. That man. There we go. There we go. Ah. Pinky's acting silly. This room was an experimental room for me. This is where he did his experiments. He tried to use zero gravity in here. This is an anti-gravity chamber. He tried to use a whole slew of different things. He made this room specifically to try to figure out what made my power work, and he still didn't figure it out. Sad part is that it's the one thing that this whole place is built out of. And he didn't even understand. And it's kind of sad. But I can't tell you. You know, just have to keep paying attention to the content. He tried everything he could in this room. I think the only thing that really happened that bothered me the most is that damn machine that he made. It sucked. I didn't like that damn thing. It made this weird like noise, and it had me lifted up in the air off the ground. I always thought that shit sucked. Anyways, this is basically what the room looked like. It was like some amplified harmonic mess. I don't know. It just made me unable to move, and it pissed me off. It always made me upset. And I hated the fact when he used to do that. That's why I did what I did to his eyes. That's why I took him, because he would always stare at me for long periods of time for no reason. He's just like, I want to watch and see what you're able to do. And I'm like, that's weird, man. I don't know, man. He considers this, what I'm doing, a waste of time, me drawing right now, but that's okay. This allows me some time to be able to put my plan together. We got some new patients that just came in, so we'll be dealing with that soon enough. There we go. What kind of machine? I'll show you what the machine looks like. This is basically the diagram of what the entire facility looks like by floor. So now we have that as a reference, right? If I decide to make a larger model of it, I will. But now, to show you the machine that was used, here, I will use a dummy body to explain, and then the emphasis of the machine will be done in ink, right? So, subject would be basically this orb here, which was myself. And how it will work is body would be basically in this thing. Like so. You know, I'll fix that shoulder. Actually fix all of that, because I wasn't even in that position. that. It's more like this. Bunched, right? So here's the zero gravity field that he had me in. So there's the field, right? And that shit just, I don't know what this is made out of. What kind of weird back engineered mess this was, but this was very bizarre. I didn't like the way it felt. Felt like something was going on my, I don't know. Felt like it was tweaked just for my DNA like structure or whatever. So that's the field it emitted, right? And then I had this weird piece here. And I just reached out. And this big wire piece, kind of coupler thing that reached from one end of the room to the other, which was very bizarre. And electricity going through it. Well, too much pressure on that. Let's see what else is here. Oh, one of them. Yeah. One recording, not the better one. That one gets on my nerves. Have the audio cut out. Really sad day. I hated that. Someone full of no behavior messing with the project. But now that person is, well, in the backyard now. Became a homunculi kind of creature. Doctor didn't like them. That's when I knew that he was doing biological experiments, because I'm like, this person is full of, he said, no behavior. And I said, yeah. And he said, good. I've been looking for someone full of no. Now I have a reason. And I said, oh, he was the one that started the whole no yes thing. Right? But I can't let that go. was a love-hate relationship with him. He did teach me many things, and yes, even though he had me in this contraption, right? This kind of situation, right? This damned thing. I hate this thing. Still have it for certain situations, but all in all, I despise this damn piece of machinery. It's a cursed thing. I swear it came from a different dimension. This has to be some other type of tech. This isn't anything that I've seen his work. This is not something he created. Maybe found? But what do I know? How do I know? I don't even know where I got my ability from. Oh, wait. That's right. I was told. I use the power of chaos and insanity. That's what it is. It's like both wrapped into a physical entity, which is what I am. But he, I guess, needed this for his own protection. So what? I'm not necessarily a hero. I'm just a victim looking for a tad bit of payback. And how did I end up in this thing, you might ask? I actually came here because I was looking for help. I didn't think that my art was being understood. People were going insane when they were seeing my work. And I just thought, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. So I came here and I heard people talking about, oh man, they're doing experiments on people. And I thought, well, maybe I could get a brain enhancement or something. Maybe they could do an experiment on me and I might be the world's greatest artist. Lo and behold, I didn't realize that the intake that was going to be done to me turned into a bad situation when, you know, the person that was doing the intake didn't really understand what was going on. And then they gazed too long into my eyes, and I said, "You're having a bad time right now, aren't you?" And they were like, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's all getting bad right now." And they stood up and they said, "It's getting bad." And then they grabbed their face and they started to scream. And then the doctor looked over in my direction and he started to smile. And if I would have known then what I know now, I would have known that he was intrigued. His whole body was, lack of better words, excited. So he came over there and introduced himself to me. I didn't really pay much attention to it, whatever. He was not even concerned about the person that was arriving, and what I didn't understand is psychological pain. What did I know? I drew a picture, I showed it to them. They started hooping, screaming, shaking. I I drew something that made him uneasy. He got mad and punched and threw a punch at the wall, stopped himself, and then he wanted me to draw something else. And then after I drew that other thing, he said, "Draw something that you think you could answer a question with a picture." And I drew a picture of him, and he didn't like that. He didn't like what I drew of him. And then he said, "I need to experiment more on this situation." And then I ended up in this damn machine. Until he made me upset, and then I realized that I had the power of the gaze. I can just concentrate it in madness and embrace it and lean into it deeply and just change everything. Atmosphere changes, the way you breathe changes, it all just shifts. Different. Unstable, one would say. I don't know what to do. That's what happened between me and the doctor. After he had me in here, he put me through all types of tests. Some of them really hurt, and I didn't like that. It pissed me off really bad. One of them, he wanted to try to, see if it would change through different hot and cold, and then he tried to shoot flames on me. Nuisance. See, you remember, well, you don't really, well, yes, you do. You might remember this. I mean, he took cells from one of the scientists that was in the room when he was doing these tests on me for some of your brain tissue, or at least mega brain. But, this machine just, I gotta look through the data files and see what the name of this machine is, but he never really said. He just said, "Oh, this device." The device. This thing sucked. There we go. So that one day, you're here for the shifting. Same. Boy. So we're here now to the conclusion of the whole situation with him. So he kept me in this damn device for almost 3 months. And it irritated me because he would feed me and I could get out at certain times, but then when he wanted to question me, he kept me in here. Found out the asshole was afraid of me in some capacity. I don't fully understand. Something about me unnerves him. And this was before the incident, but the incident happened because he decided while I was in here, he wanted to see if I can use my abilities to be able to change molecular structures of stuff and all this other wild mess. So what ended up happening? He hit me in the face. And I got mad. And he got scared because this damn thing turned off. I said, I've had enough of this shit. And then this thing shut off. And I just fell out. And I landed on the ground. And he looked at me and I said, put your hands down and don't look, don't move. And his hands went down. And I said, you're a puppet. And I just stared. And that's when the gaze first happened. And he started screaming. And I said, oh, having a hard time embracing the madness. I said, I guess you need to pull your eyeballs out since you can't handle it. And that's when he plunged both his hands deep into his skull as he was screaming and pulled his eyeballs out in that room. And I didn't care. And I laughed at him. And he chuckled as he was screaming. And I dragged his body out of there. And I took him back up, all the way back to the house. I took him all the way back up to the top floor. Used him to scan my way back up. And then he laughed. And said, I haven't had this much fun in a long time. And then he said, it's all yours. Except for the floor that I'm on. You have access to everything except for what's past where you're at. Nobody has done this to me. And he said, you have maimed me. And he tried to cry, but he didn't have any eyes to. And he sat there and shook like he was weeping. And then some people just came up and helped him up, and a different elevator I didn't even know existed in the house was over there near the staircase, and he just went inside, and that was it. I didn't see him for almost 2 weeks. Nothing was going on here for about that time. Nothing was happening at the madhouse. Nothing. Everything was just quiet. And then, as you know, I one day just got up and came out of the room like normal. And then all of a sudden, the floor opened up. I finally was able to come out, and I'm able to move around, and people were talking to me, and I got credentials and all this other stuff. And he said, oh, doctor. And I'm like, Doctor who? And he said, oh, Dr. Mad Mel. And I just said, oh, I'm a doctor now? And he said, yes, you're a doctor. You're the only man who has earned the title by breaking past the barrier of insanity. So I earned my title here from breaking him, which is great, I guess. We gotta see what we can do next. Figure out how we can maybe get some of these people out of here. I can tell you some of the people I've met here have been interesting. Apply the voltage. That's great. I'm here for sure. That device looks painful. Yeah. No, the device wasn't painful. It made my body just go numb. Imagine like it made my whole entire body from head to toe when I was in that field. It felt like if you hit your funny bone, how your hand will have that quivering feeling. I felt that through my entire body. Just all the time. It was like the sickening vibration that it made me feel like my whole body was just stuck in that area. Right? Couldn't do very much. And even if I could, I probably wouldn't do very much anyways, because it was just a nauseating feeling on this thing. Zero out of 10 would not recommend. But I will say this, though. Out of all of this, out of everything that's happened, I have got my hands, as you guys have seen from that little time lapse, I do have my own ship now. And I gained that because he doesn't even understand what he unleashed. He allowed me to have access, and well, you know, some of the files that he had blueprints, and he never said no. And you know, we do have a shop access here somewhere. You know, a lot of people don't like him. They want me to just finish this place off, right? But I see value here. But I will finish him off, though, believe me. Not about enough of that man. Anyways, I'm not going to lose myself to insanity yet. Still got more to draw. Oh! Looks like we're almost out of time. All right. Now I know what that is. Great stuff. Uh-oh. But what I want to see, if we have enough time, if I can actually ink at least a little of this. I want body's cheap. No, I think what he was doing was he just didn't want me to move. See, his whole thing is that he does things to people sometimes. You know, yeah, I'm going to go on ahead and just darken this up because I want to, right? You guys can see it. I got a minute. I got like 5 minutes. I want to do this for myself. You know. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I had fun. I hope you guys did as well. That's hard as shit, boy. I like this. I figured, why not make a proper picture of oneself, right? And I'm gonna go for a little bit. Let's see why instead of wine and art, I like your story. Story and art. Thank you, thank you. It's a little bit of immersion, right? You have to be a part of something. There we go. There we go. There we go. Apparently, this axe I have too is something really crazy. I don't know much about it. All I know is that was something that was in the library. Duchess told me that the story about the axe and it kills whoever's not worthy of being a wielder of it because it's supposed to be a axe of destroying chaos and madness of evil proportion. A bunch of stuff I don't know. I was like, wow. You know, I was more focused on talking or just listening to her talk. So I wasn't paying much attention to what she was saying. But all I know is that I picked it up, damn thing didn't kill me. I saw somebody else that was showboating around and they said, yeah, right, I can pick it up. And that man's no longer with us. So, you know, I've seen things happen that made me a full believer of the power of whatever crazy shit's going on in this house and whatever crazy stuff happens, period, you know. So, yeah. have a great time here. Boom. And one more boom. And then we bow and then we bring this down here like so. Yeah, makes it pop with a little bit of ink to it, right? Yeah, I like that. Now, there's other scientists that are also haters in here. Some of them don't even understand why I'm even considered a MD and here a medical doctor. You know, they don't understand. They're like, well, you don't have a medical license. And I'm like, nope, I'm an artistic therapist. And they're like, that's bullshit. And they get all mad and huffing and vomiting all over the place. It's really funny too, because if they make too much of a stink, you know, the doctor will call them down and they'll turn the speaker on and it'll let everybody in the facility hear him, how he says, get things back in shape. And I hate when that happens, because I know someone's being turned into a creature. It just never stops. Thank you very much. I hope everybody had a great time. I hope you enjoy the content, because that's the new stuff you guys are going to get. That's what I want to do. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm making a thing. Or should I say, building upon something that's already here. There we go. All right. All right, well, there it is. That's the end of the show tonight. I'm stopping here, because I'll finish the rest of this later. All the different facial expressions of disgust and anger and surprise and, oh, what is that? You know, especially this right here. That's that, oh, what is that? And then it's just, you know, some wild mess, right? So yeah, that was all that fun, amazing stuff tonight. Let's go on ahead and go back over here. Hello. See, I'm a real person, not just a voice. Oh boy, I wasn't expecting to see that. Anyways, thank you again for being here. I'm glad that you guys had an opportunity to see what new things and mad things I'm doing. Basically, working off of what I already have in front of me. So, if you enjoyed the content, you know what to do. Hit that button somewhere on the screen. I will be streaming again on Tuesday. Since that's done with all the X-Men, and now we're May, I'm going to be doing some work with the Madhouse. So, probably making some more content, some more characters, doing some more things, make some more creatures, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be building on that for a little bit. and then we're going to change direction. But don't fret, for those who are enjoying it, there's something special for you later for that too. So, anyways, that's all I'm going to say tonight. Oh, and motivational word of the day: try to be as nice as you can. Art is the greatest gift on this earth, so enjoy it no matter how little you think you can do it. No matter how much you think, oh well, I can't, just do it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy doing art. Embrace the madness that it is. And you know keep going, and tomorrow's a different day. Always try to make it to tomorrow. Tomorrow's always another day. And if you can make it to tomorrow, it may not be the same as today. Maybe a little bit different. Could always be better. You don't know until you make it. So, anyways, I'm out of here. I will see you all later. Embrace the madness. Bye bye.